Well, this is Top Story brought to you always by Telecel, Connecting Energies, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you. Now, Ghana's bold move to curb illegal mining by banning excavator import without permit appears to be unraveling, with reports suggesting machines are still flooding into the country, particularly through Tema Port under cloak of night. Now, just 3 months ago, President John Mahama introduced the no permit, no excavator policy, aiming to stem the tide of these heavy-duty machines fueling environmental destruction here in Ghana. Now, the ban was part of intensified effort to combat galamsey, with Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe emphasizing that importers must secure permits from the Transport Ministry before they do. Now, the goal was clear: protect Ghana's water bodies and forest reserves from devastation caused by unchecked illegal mining. Yet disturbing revelations indicate excavators continue to pouring, with Minister Nikpe himself highlighting that over 200 machines arrive daily at Ghana's ports.
Ghana has more excavators in this country than in the whole of Africa. We're going to change the permitting regime. You will not be allowed to import an excavator or put it on a ship unless you get a permit. Mining cannot be sustainable unless it's also responsible.
We are putting in place this ban or this prohibition of importation of excavators into our country. If you pay a visit to the port, the Tema port, you will see an invasion of excavators in that port. And we receive over 200 excavators on daily basis into our ports.
You mean 200 excavators a day?
Over. And for 3 weeks today, when I visited the port and asked for a halt in clearing of excavators, we have had over 1,200 plus excavators in the Tema port.
You mean as we speak tonight, you have more than 1,200 excavators sitting at the ports waiting to be cleared?
Yes, please. And our Intel tells us that on the high seas, we have close to 3,000 excavators coming in. And so it is on this basis that we have put a ban. The Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, we have put in place a task force. So the customs have been charged.
And what's the penalty for importing excavators without a permit?
Well, for the penalties, they are there in the Minerals and Mining Act.
Well, so that was the minister there in that particular interview with Evans Mensah in June this year, talking about this. Now, even for the few granted permits, their machines were supposed to carry trackers. But DVLA boss Julius Nikwe Kote revealed that importers have found loopholes to strip or bypass the trackers, diverting the excavators to illegal mining sites. He spoke on our sister station at Asempa FM 2 weeks ago.
We registered some excavators at the port. We tracked them. They said, no, that one, we didn't even register them, but we tracked them. Because they said we were going to Burkina. Hey, 2 a.m. and I got a call from one policeman. Yes, sir, they've taken the tracker off, put it in an Uber car. And the car is going to Burkina, and they've directed the excavators. Within 2 weeks, we registered 5,902 excavators only in Ghana. That one in the system, and they've not been registered.
Well, it appears that controls have failed, with excavators still arriving in their numbers. Many cleared, we understand, under the cover of night. Lead data analyst here at Joy News, Isaac Kofi Ajay, joins me in studio with some details from our deep throat sources. Kofi, what more do we know on this particular development?
So, Kojo, we have our ears and eyes at the ports, and according to what we are gathering from our sources, although there are stringent measures and policies to avert some of this, influx of excavators into the country, we still see excavators being imported into Ghana in their numbers, arriving at the Tema port. Clearance is also ongoing, although there are tighter measures, and also what we understand from our sources that these excavators, majority of them are being moved at night. And the new twist we have to this is that there is also an angle where government itself is also moving some of the excavators to what they call safe haven.
Yes.
And that gives, Ghanaians some deja vu in terms of what happened in 2020, where we seized some, people say about 500 excavators, and nobody got to know where they went when they were in the custody of the assemblies.
Well, let's look at the OEC data that you've been studying. But how much are we spending on excavator import, and where are these machines coming from?
Okay, Kojo, so since morning we've been going through the OEC's database, trying to understand the impact on Ghana in terms of excavator importation, and we were surprised to know that if you look at West Africa, currently we are the number one importer of excavators. If you look at the African continent as a whole, Ghana is now the second largest importer of excavators, just second to South Africa that spends about $436 million on importing excavators. And currently, we spend on average over $200 million to import excavators. In West Africa, for instance, we beat Nigeria, who, although they have bigger landmass and economy, spend about $94 million. We spend over $200 million. In terms of the ranking, excavator importation, Kojo, is now the 10th highest imported product in Ghana. If you look at the over 4,200 items we import into the country every year, excavators is now number 10. It didn't used to be that case years ago. And in terms of where they are coming from, China is the top origin or source of this import, where we spend $95 million in just 2023 to import excavators. India is second, $67.7 million, and Belgium, $11.9 million. So as it stands now, we spend more to import excavators than we do on telephones, computers, wigs, crude products, motorcycles, tractors for agriculture products, and refrigerators.
But let's bring it home properly. If we say the excavator imports is now the 10th most imported items into Ghana, how does an item become part of the topmost items imported into this country? So
we are looking at the value, or the monetary value used in importing this item. Okay. And in fact, this is where excavator becomes the number 10 in terms of also our import bill, where it is now putting a lot of pressure also on the city as well, because we have to find over $200 million every year to import excavators. And as the minister said, in a day we receive 200 excavators at the port. And when we did the math, if you hold all other factors constant, we are looking at the arrival of 73,000 excavators into Ghana in just a year.
Well, but we understand there is a fresh development, just coming now that some excavators are being moved to another location to avoid scrutiny. Have we been keeping an eye on that particular one?
Of course, we've been speaking to our sources, and what they tell us is that, there was that invasion of excavators at the Tema port specifically, where at the moment, government is not saying that they are moving these excavators to what they call safe haven. We've seen public notice on that. We've reached out to the number, and the number that was on that public notice, the first impression we got from the person who says he worked with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, says that he doesn't remember that communique being issued, but he says he's going to get back to us with more details. But what we understand is that one of the places that this is being moved to is Michelle Camp, where, according to our sources, and government wants to use that as one of the places where they are keeping these excavators as safe haven. But just like I said, this is also creating some form of deja vu among Ghanaians who said that, well, we do remember what happened in 2020 when we confiscated several excavators. We all woke up, and then nobody got to know where these excavators were, and that is the big problem we have right now. But what we also know is that majority of the clearance is now happening at night.
Grateful to you that I have that particular statement here, but let's go on to Zoom now and bring in the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. Now, for clarification's sake, we understand government is moving some of these excavators to safe havens. What do you know?
Thank you, and good evening to you and your listeners. And we are grateful that even though you put up the story, that you have called us to respond to it. Somewhere 20th of last month, we caused for the evacuation of all excavators that were at the port in Tema. Now, on the 22nd, I made the GPHA, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, to put up a public notice that we were going to evacuate all the excavators that were in the Tema port to 1 Michelle camp, 2 Bema camp, Teshe camp, and 49 engineering arrangements, such that we would decongest the port. If you remember, before we took office, there were a lot of container congestions in the Tema port. And we had to take time to clear, to allow free flow of business in Tema port. Now, when we started detaining or not releasing excavators, it also became another problem for us in the port. And mind you, our port is to do business, and people do not want to have any difficulty going about their business. So we arranged with the military and started the evacuation from the 20th of last month. So all the camps I've mentioned, if you want, you can take your media, let people around, you see the number of excavators we have evacuated to those areas. Another issue we had to take this decision was, one, the importers came and complaining of demurrage. And so the longer they continue to stay in the port, the more the fellow will be made to pay. And so taking them out of the port was one of the areas to prevent the payment of demurrage and also decongest our port. So that is what I know about the evacuation of the excavators from the Tema port.
So per your data, how many excavators are locked up at the port that you are trying to excavate to these safe havens?
Well, I will not be able to give you an accurate figure as I sit in the vehicle moving. But what I can tell you is that some of your colleagues went to the port some few weeks ago and they were reporting how the place was congested. I'll get the details or the figures of the number in the Tema port for you later. But for now, the issue I'm responding to is the reportage you put out that we were busy clearing the excavators. I just wanted to tell you we are clearing them to those sites to decongest the port.
And so when you move them to these sites you're talking about, what happens next?
So we have put a task force or a committee in place. Mind you, it's not everybody that is into Galamsey. We have certified mining companies, we have contractors, and other people who are into earth movement, not necessarily Galamsey. So the committee will vet each permit and be able to come out to say, Joy FM, are they into earth movement work? If it is true, and we go to the site and you're actually doing some contract work or some road construction, we will now release to you. But before you take it, DVLA will register it, and then the Minerals Commission will put a tracker on it for us to know where it is and the kind of job it is engaged in.
Okay, but in June, you issued the no permit, no import policy, right?
Yes.
So these excavators we are talking about, do they all have permits to be imported into the country?
Well, it is an issue that we are using the committee to deal with, and that is why we will deny, or people are already denied of the right to clear the excavators, and that is why there's that kind of backlog at the Tema port. Because it was that some of them ordered before our edition ban. So we are using those things to cross-check to see. The right thing is you have to come to the ministry and take permit before importation, not after importation. And so we are using these things, and this is helping us to identify who to release to or who not to release to. However, we also need space in our port to do business. And that is the reasons why we have to evacuate them and now to the military camps, because that is where we trust that they will be protected and they can be accounted for at any time.
From where you sit and from what you know, I mean, a country of 30 million people with our land mass, is there a justification for the numbers that are being imported into the country? 200 excavators a day.
My brother, if there was any good justification, we wouldn't have put this ban on it. But the fact that we have put a ban, meaning that there's no justification for that kind of numbers. And I said it sometime. What we have in the system can take care of any other genuine work for years. And so we are using your medium to caution. We have already written to the shipping lines to stop shipping excavators into our country. But you wake up and then people will not listen to directives. And that is why we are having to keep them, and it is now a problem that you are giving the information as if we're clearing to people that we are only decongesting our port to allow for good or free flow of business.
If that is the case, what then must we expect to happen to the excesses? Because you say what we have in the system can cater for what we do have already. So if that is the case, what will happen after your exercise when you know that those coming in are excess?
Yeah, so we'll see them, especially when you are not a satisfied either a contractor or a mining company that you need those equipment. And before we will satisfy and give to you, we would have gone to see the work you are doing. The committee is on grounds working to ensure that we don't give to anybody who do not have any certified either mining license or either contract that needs those equipment to enhance their operations or work.
But you just told us that what we have already in the system are enough. So it means that
they are in different grades. It is not every moving equipment that is the same. So you might not have a particular grade or a particular model that a mining company might need. And so based on that, that is why we say that before you have any idea to import, you have to come to the ministry to get a permit. But before we give you the permit, we will know whether what you need is in the system or not.
Okay, so help us understand it better. Earth moving equipment, you say the numbers in the system are okay. What category are we talking about? Excavators or what exactly?
For now, we are looking at the excavators that is being used to cause damage or that is being used in the illegal mining.
Okay.
All what we are doing is to ensure that we do not allow the influx of excavators in mining communities.
I get it. There's a reason I was asking earlier. That did you say that the number of excavators we have in the system are enough for us?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because it should be that system to allow for us. You yourself mentioned when you called that we were having numbers 200 in days or in a day being imported into the system. The question is for what purpose?
It is the
so
reason
that should clearly tell you that if it is on continuous basis, we don't need them.
It is the reason I'm asking that for these excavators, because we have enough already in the system, what will we do to them? What will we do to the excess? Because
so DVLA has embarked on registering all excavators or earth-moving equipment. You know, hitherto it was not like that. And now trackers are put on them. So should we find any of such equipment in the system at any Galamsey site, when it is seized, we know the owner, then we can come for you. Know that you are the one causing the influx of excavators in illegal mining. So DVLA is empowered to do registration and do tracking so that we'll be able to tell, is it person is excavator that was used for illegal mining, then we can come for you or we can go for you for whatever damage you are causing to the environment.
Do stay on for me briefly. Let me bring in Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. He is the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining. You had the minister there. What's your own viewpoint of the explanation he's given us tonight?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. Please just remind me, so who's the Honorable Minister on the end of the line, please?
The Minister for Transport.
Okay, so thank you very much. So the Honorable Minister for Transport is spot on the fact that currently the systems that have been put at the ports, you would have to go through the committee. I can speak and say that even for us, the large-scale miners, our members had to bring in what equipment they had imported into the system, and you had to go through from the Ministry of Lands to the Ministry of Transport. The GRA Commissioner General had to also endorse before you are allowed to be able to clear. This is the large-scale equipment. And I also know for a fact that now DVL, as you said, DVLA is at the port. And then also Minerals Commission, you're working with Minerals Commission to track the excavators. So if the processes that we are putting in place, for me, I think that the point he's made that these excavators, and in the large-scale mining excavators are not the size of the excavators that are used in destroying our land, and all of that. So we should be able to publish the names of all the people who are importing all of these excavators into this country. There are some of them, the only reason they are bringing these excavators in, especially the small excavators, is because of the galamsey. And it also should be said to the credit of the team that has been put together, that currently the small-scale mining, the illegal mining, not small-scale, the illegal mining has subsided a bit because they don't get the excavators that they need to be able to do the work they have to do. What has to happen? And again, so what Honorable Minister has to say is also that now because of the tracking, if we actually track, Minerals Commission, if you're using an excavator or any earth-moving equipment for any particular concession, they will geo-map it to that particular concession, so you cannot move it beyond it. And so what I would recommend that we do is that quickly we need to publish the names of all those people who brought all of these excavators in, who do not have any business because there's no road they are going to construct. They don't have any mining concession they are going to deal with. They are not contractors. They will not be able to tell you who they were going to give it to. Because the strategy for a lot of these illegal miners was that the excavators cost them around $200,000. They get into a place, they start destroying so quickly. By the time you come and you take it away from them, they've been able to get this $200,000 away. So these excavators have become weapons of mass destruction. So, and when some of us ask for the state of emergency to happen, these are some of the reasons. So under a state of emergency, the president could immediately say that all excavators that cannot demonstrate that they were coming for some road work or they were coming from some legitimate mining have all been confiscated to the state. We are not going to even wait for you to go through the court process. We confiscate them to the state. NIMOS, as we speak currently, requires resources to be able to do what they have to do. Then you sell up, maybe you export these excavators back to other countries that need it, and use that money as seed capital. So, Honourable Minister, for me, I think what we need to do quickly is to ramp up the tracking so that once we move these to a particular place, then we make sure that the ones that are legitimate that are going, we track them. And so that Minerals Commission is able to police where actually they are going to. And the other ones that we don't know, let's publish the names of the people.
Okay.
And these people, we can then charge them under Act 995 that they are facilitating illegal small-scale mining. And then we can deal with them. And the people who have imported the 2,000, they are the kingpins. They are the reasons behind the illegality that is happening. So I think that the work that this government has done so far as the excavators are concerned, I think it's been positive.
Okay.
There's just a little bit that needs to be done to make sure that the people who are behind this mass importation that they have brought, who do not have any concession they are working on, they don't have any road projects that they are working on, they are just speculators that have brought in to be able to fund their destruction. We need to deal with it.
I'm grateful to you, Dr. Ken Ashigbe there. Do we still have the transport minister on the line? Okay. So, Minister, just before we let you, you wanted to make a point?
Yes, please. Let me just say thank you to Dr. Ken, and again assure him that this is where we are getting to. We are gradually going through the processes to get those who, like I said, they have the legal contracts or they are into legal mining or road construction. Then they don't have a case. But any other such persons, we are going to confiscate and we are going to publish everything. And that is why gradually we are moving them to the military installations for proper protection and safekeeping.
Okay. When will you ban the importations if what we have in the country is enough for us?
Like for what you want. But in the military installations, I think that it's going to be difficult for anybody to dare go in there to pick an excavator. But I can say that we are gradually getting to a point where we will come out with a list of those who we have confiscated their excavators, and people will get to know those who we have given to them that they are into legal activities without any problem.
So I wanted to find out from you when you will ban the importation of excavators if you say what we have in the system are enough.
So what we are doing, there are stages. We have written to all the shipping lines, and we are going to send another communication to them, cautioning them that, look, for now, they should not bring in any excavator from anywhere. But what is on the high seas and in the port, we are going to evacuate all of them to these military installations and then go through the right processes. And that those who we would deny them of their excavators, we would do so.
I'm grateful to you. Joseph Nikpe is the Minister for Transport there. This has been Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel, Connecting Energies, and Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. Up next is Newsnight.
And tonight, foreign traders in Ghanaian markets in the capital forced to shut down as Ghanaian traders demand action to flush them out of the retail space. We have the latest as the traders at a Bosokai hold crunch meeting with their foreign counterparts as a 48-hour ultimatum to vacate their shops expires.
When these foreigners apply to us, they end up selling the same goods with us, which puts pressure on our business.
We bring you details of that meeting here on Newsnight. Also tonight, Finance Ministry directs the Ghana Water Company to pay its own debt. We'll hear from the company as it warns the new directive will impose stiffer tariffs on consumers.
But now we receive another letter again from the same Ministry of Finance saying, this recently, yes, just about some few weeks ago, I'm not sure it's more than 3 weeks, asking us that all these loans, we should pay them back.
Yourself?
Yes.
I mean,
in business, strong activities in services sector push second quarter GDP growth to 6.3% as the service described development as signs of recovery.
In sports, the Black Stars may be on the brink of securing World Cup qualification, but Sector Minister Kofi Adams remains unimpressed with Coach Otuado's work.
All the details from the world of sports and business later on here on Newsnight. Plus your comments, 055-111-1997. Details after this.
SME Month this September under the theme Connecting the Next Generation of Entrepreneurs. For our young emerging entrepreneurs, this month is loaded with major vibes tailored to your growth and ambitions. Sharpen your skills at the Telecel Business Runway and the AI Workshop, and connect with other change makers at our very first Telecel Red Mixer, an exclusive networking event. There's more. Unlock tailored products designed to match your unique business goals this Telecel SME Month. Your time is now to transform your genius into impact. Keep up with all the action by following Telecel on social media for updates, or visit our website www.telecel.com.gh/business.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears. bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? There's more time before pension.
Share. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes this so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a Day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana Cedi a day towards your retirement. Isn't that great?
1 Cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dachia Pomode plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Roverman Productions, for our 17th anniversary, brings you an original play by Uncle Ibo White. Voices in my head.
Rod, if you don't leave, I swear I will kill you.
Let me help you. Take this gun and shoot me because I'm not leaving until I am done.
You think I'm joking? Leave by the count of 3 or I will shoot you.
Even if you count to 100, I will still be here.
1, 2, 3.
Date, September 12th, 13th, and 14th. Venue, National Theatre. Time, Fridays at 7 p.m., Saturdays at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., Sundays at 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Rate, 300 Ghana cedis. Available via Callback short code *365*535# or on the Rover app or at all usual outlets. For inquiries, call 050-554-6010. WhatsApp 050-554-6030. Sponsors, Koba and Gino Jollof Mix. Partners, National Theatre, Joy FM, Roverman Productions. 17 years of consistency and excellence. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
And you're live here on News 90 on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, some foreign traders in Ghanaian markets in the capital were today forced to shut down as Ghanaian traders demanded action to flush them out of the retail space. Traders at the Abosokai, a key trading hub, they've been holding an urgent meeting with their foreign counterparts. The Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association issued a 3-day warning to foreign traders, citing concerns of unlawful takeover of retail businesses. Today is the deadline. Now, joining us is Adobe Asari. I just returned from the Abosokai and joins me in the studio with more on this unfolding drama. What did you find when you went to the Abosokai Spare Parts Enclave?
Even though today happens to be the deadline for disclosure of stuff, some of these foreigners actually opened the shops for business. So I interacted with some of the Ghanaian traders who are unhappy about it, and this is what they had to say.
When these
foreigners supply to us, they end up selling the same goods with us, which puts pressure on our business. We just want them to supply and leave.
A meeting last and then we raised our concerns there. So from that, no more time say omuntum.
They were given up to today to close their shop, but we can see some of their shops are still open, so we want answers.
We don't know, so answers.
And what reaction did you get from the foreign traders?
Yeah, so the foreign traders I spoke to who didn't speak on record, they just believe their mere existence in the market is what Ghanaians are not happy about. Some of them just say it's business strategy. What they do is that they don't put too much interest on their goods, which allow people to patronize them more. In fact, some of them told me the shops they operate belong to their spouses, so it's not entirely true that they are running them as foreigners.
But also tell me something. When you went there today, were some of the shops closed though?
Yes. Some were closed and others didn't comply.
Okay. Yeah. And this meeting has been happening to trying to resolve this particular matter. Exactly. And I know the trade minister has tried to intervene. It did not help. And the traders have gone ahead today to force their foreign counterparts, some of them, to close their shops. We can speak to Tichiado. He's a spokesperson for the Spare Parts Dealers Association, joins us on the line right now. We'll also talk to Joseph Obeng, the national president of GUTA. Tichiado, thanks for your time here on News Night. So give me a sense of what has happened today in your conversation with the foreign traders. Did you strike some understanding to let them open their shops and continue to operate within the retail space there at Abosokai?
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to your listeners. Well, the directive was 3 days. So today was the third day. And this morning, we asked them to open their shops because we have arranged a meeting between the leadership of NUTAG and Ghanaian counterpart, which is the Abosokai Association executives. So this morning, we asked them to open. But indeed, they comply with the meeting. We engaged them this afternoon. It was very cordial and fruitful. We had a meeting with them, and that's the indoors meeting, and we told them what they should do and what they should do. And we gave them 2 weeks. So after the 2 weeks, we'll bring out a roadmap, how we are going to do, and whether they are qualified or not. But what we tell them is that the law makes it clear that they are not qualified to be in the market. That was the principal concept of the whole thing. They are not supposed to be in the market. We told them openly. We printed out the laws, the act. We give it to them. They read it in front of everybody. They realize that the law is the law and it is clear. You are not a Ghanaian. Don't engage in petty trading. So we gave them 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, we engage the security service and the government agencies. How we are going to embark on the serious demonstration and closures of stores in Abosokai.
So they now have 2 weeks to comply.
Yes, the 2 weeks. That's why we are going to take full action.
And the full action will be what? Forcibly closing down the shops?
No, definitely. But we told them we have a closed door meeting, and I'm not supposed to share it outside. We give them 2 weeks. So after the 2 weeks, they will know whether it will be fruitful or not fruitful. They will know action we are going to take. But the bottom line is, we told them they are not supposed to trade in the local market.
Mensah, thank you for your time on Newsnight. He speaks for the Spare Parts Dealers Association, the national president of GUTA, and as you know, the Spare Parts Dealers Association, they come under GUTA. Joseph Obeng joins us right now. Mr. Obeng, grateful to have you join us on Newsnight. This matter, I know you took it up with the trade minister, and some conversations happened. What did you manage to achieve with those conversations that you began with government? What has happened there?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later because we haven't gotten any conclusive resolve with the Ministry of Trade. Definitely it will come. But let me first of all say that our mandate as traders is not to go and close shops, but our full mandate is to do our business, get some money to take care of our family. Or why is it that we are going out to close shops? Because there's a law that seeks to protect us And we wonder why authorities are not enforcing those laws since time that these laws were enacted. It is not fair. The onus lies on the citizens of the country to make laws work. Because it doesn't serve us right when there's a law. The law is there to ensure orderliness, peace and tranquility among the citizenry. If laws are not enforced, then we are bringing disorder like what we are seeing in Circle, Abosukai, and elsewhere. It is not fair. I asked the GIPC boss the other time what you think about the law. I asked whether it is relevant or not. He said it's very relevant. So I said, what are we waiting for? So if the law is relevant, then we have to enforce. If it is not relevant and it's not necessary, and that the locals do not need any protection of the sort, then they have to prescribe it from the laws. Then we know that we don't have any protection and anything goes. The choice is with government to decide. And the larger choice is also with us to also let government know what we want. So it's very unfortunate that authorities will sit down. This issue is under the purview of the Attorney General, the Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Trade, GIPC itself, and they all have to work to make sure that these laws are being enforced so that the locals will not take the laws into our hand to paint the image of the country black because for that reason.
As it stands now, we've just heard from the Spare Parts Dealers Association. They've given the foreigners operating in that space 2 weeks. If nothing happens, they will take the law into their own hands and shut down shops. You think some agreement can be reached before the expiration of the second week?
It depends on the government to come in. The government have to ensure that the laws of the country is enforced. So the government, if they don't want any unnecessary confusions in the market and all that, have to act very fast.
But bottom line, you are the umbrella body. That's good to support the shutting down of foreign shops in the retail space when the 2 weeks expire?
Yeah, in fact, we want to do even the larger one, the nationwide, right? And by this one, the sectorial ones, the circle people started by way of a press conference to give them ultimatum, like Busukai is giving them ultimatum now. I know Kumasi will also do something like that. The stationary printers, the printing press, they also came out with a press conference and all that. So when this thing have started like that, what we do is that we will come as national and declare what we have to do. And that's what we are saying, that we don't want to reach that time where we will call on the Destiny Day demonstration. And that one, we are going to take our destiny into our hands. But then, before then, we want to ask the government whether it is necessary to keep this law. If it is not necessary, if it is not relevant, let's prescribe it. Let's take it out of the GIPC Act as soon as possible, so that we know that we don't have any protection, and that is our fate. You see, protection is allowed everywhere. The protectionist measures, even in China. If you go to China today, when you leave your flight and you see that your communication have changed, you will not allow to use WhatsApp, YouTube, Instagram, on all that. You have to compulsorily use their own network of WeChat. Otherwise, you are not going to communicate, because they are protecting their communication industry.
And bottom line, clarify for me, you say, are you suggesting that when the 2 weeks expire, this ultimatum has just been given, Guta, you will join your colleagues at Abosokai and close down shops across the country as far as foreigners are concerned in the retail space?
That is when nothing is done.
So if nothing happens in 2 weeks, if nothing happens in 2 weeks,
our mandate is not to do this. We are not there to go and close shops and all that. We have to concentrate on our business to get something. But the authorities have to do what they have to do.
Okay,
so the law is so clear on this. What is expired there? Those who are qualified to trade there, especially in the market and all that. What are they doing there?
Would this latest ultimatum be formally communicated to the trade minister and GIPC and whoever is in government who must act?
Oh, yeah, we've started making inroads into some of these things, making contacts here and there for them to do what they need for as soon as possible before we reach that point.
Thank you very much. That there is Joseph Obing, and Joseph Obing speaks for Guta. Is also the national president. I want to hear from you if you are a trader in any of our markets across the country. Share your thoughts with me on the position you've heard first by the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association. Now Guta says they'll join that particular protest too. It's not just a protest, but they're going to take the law into their own hands and shut down foreign shops in retail space. 055-1111-997. Now, Joy News is learning tonight that the Finance Ministry has directed the Ghana Water Company to pay its own debt. As a result of that, we're hearing now from the Ghana Water Company that their demand for a 280% increase in tariffs as far as water is concerned is primarily anchored on that particular directive. They're citing the directive as an excuse for that hefty increase in water tariffs. We'll be hearing pretty shortly from the other players in the sector reacting to this directive that has been issued. But the company's chief manager in charge of corporate planning, Michael Kluche, says unless government withdraws that directive, they have very little in their kitty to support the survival of the Ghana Water Company. And the only option is to pass on that hefty bill to you, the consumer.
We did not take a lot of loans, but even some loans, some grants, and some donor funds that were coming from Ministry of Finance, normally for our major acquisitions, have now been sent to us to pay as loan back to Ministry of Finance.
Since when?
Well, there were two issues. First time this thing happened was somewhere in 2015. Yeah. And we had an issue with that. PRC later told us that they also have an information from Minister of Finance that they should not put in this in the tariff. So we were not able to pay. But now we receive another letter again from the same Minister of Finance saying, this recently, yes, just about some few weeks ago, I'm not sure it's more than 3 weeks, asking us that all these loans, we should pay them back.
Yourselves?
Yes.
I mean, Ghana Water should pay. How much are you talking about?
They are in various sums, euros, I'll give you the grand total later. But it's a lot of money that we need to recover. Ghana Water Company only gets its revenue from tariff, nowhere else. And the only person who can adjust this tariff for us, for this to be in the tariff recovery or our what do you call it? Our revenue is through the tariff.
Well, he warned on PM Express last night that Ghana Water Company could be forced to shut down its operations if its newly assigned debt obligations are not reflected in water tariffs.
The tariff that we had as at 2022 is no longer adequate to help us, even if nothing has come on at all. If the other two things I'm going to talk about have not come on at all, it's no longer adequate to help us. What are we saying so? The tariff that was given to us was an equivalent of 0.97 USD.
Yeah.
Today, the same tariff in today's terms is about 0.981 USD.
Because of depreciation?
Because of depreciation. We want this money to be placed in the tariff so we can recover and pay back to the loan givers. Then the last one, but that which is the main issue of our operation, is the pollution that we are having or suffering with recently.
Well, already the Ghana Water Company has shut down its Kwenyako headworks in Agona West on the orders of the Central Regional Security Council. My colleague Abigail Essel has more.
The Central Region's biggest water treatment center, the Kwenyako Headworks in the Agona West municipality, is on the verge of a crisis as illegal mining continues to threaten the quality of water produced at the center. During a visit to the headworks to assess the situation, the Central Regional Minister, Eko Openyi expressed concern at the state of the water produced, indicating the efforts are being made to temporarily utilize boreholes to help the districts the headworks serve.
I think where we've got into all that we have to do to ensure that we stop the Galamsey activities, and it's everybody's business. Let's all participate. In the meantime, as a region, we've asked that the video district assembly to get us information about the existing boreholes and other water bodies where Ghana Water can help us to, ensure that it become potable for our people.
The regional minister also directed the engineers at the headworks to halt its activities as authorities find lasting solutions to the problem.
I've even asked that Ghana Water, this plant must not produce any water. If we even see clean water, we will not be sure of the content, because what chemical they will have to add to get it clean for us, it will not be good for our health. And so they must not be pressured to produce any water. No, they should relax.
I want to bring in the Central Regional Minister, Eko Openyi. Joins us on the line right now. Mr. Otra, I'm grateful for your time here on Newsnight. How many people does this treatment plant serve?
So, thanks so much for the opportunity. And I want to greet your listeners. So we cannot do that by, talking about number of people, but we can simplify it by saying that these facilities serve 10 district and municipal assemblies, including part of Accra.
That's so obviously that is huge, jaw-dropping number. In other words, all those in these 10 districts and municipalities will be impacted. They will not have potable water running to their taps.
Straight away, we are not having it, and this is about almost 2 weeks now.
And primarily, you say, is because of illegal mining, and it's just impossible now to treat the water.
Yeah, so what we've discovered is that from upstream, where the INC flows from, the Enum Apepum is where the water has been blocked and people are doing illegal mining there. And that has destroyed the water to a level that you rather find more mud in the water than water. So what is in the plant is sand mixed with little water and not water. And so we think that it will not be wholesome should they even attempt. I think that the assistant minister will not admit this kind of water for treatment.
And it's been shut down now on your orders. Do you know how long it will remain shut down?
Actually, they had shut down before I asked them not to make any attempt because they were getting pressures, let them do something, this and that and that. And I said that they should not be pressured because if you were there yesterday with us, should you even get water imported into this country and remember that you went to Kwenyako, you would not have the appetite to take that imported water because you would not be sure. Your appetite will be very low. For something like that to be converted into potable water, one will have to go in with too much. So right from the word go, it's a no-go area. They don't have to attempt to produce water from that plant at all for us.
You have also suggested that the alternative in the meantime is to drill boreholes.
Yes.
But
so
that will take some time.
Already we have existing boreholes that we've not taken good care of. District assemblies have been doing this for a number of times. But this time around, the government was very intentional about, the sharing of common fund and utilization of it. So in this particular instance, there are components, some percentage that go into borehole drilling. And so we have asked the district assemblies to, as a matter of urgency, ensure that we do drill this borehole to serve some of the communities. Now, we know it will go through processes, tender, what have you, but we've written to personally ask that we write to the PPA to grant that approval so that we can do single source in order to get contractors who have experience to do this for us. We've also identified existing ones that are not functioning, and we are activating them. Apart from that, we have identified other water bodies that were serving the community even before pipe came into their existence. So why not? Can we kind of do some work around them so that it can be used for washing and other things, where other sources can be used for other activities, including drinking.
I mean, the real problem here, and as you've articulated, is illegal mining, which is really, really why we've shut down this plant. I mean, as the chair of the Regional Security Council, you surely must accept responsibility for this, because it's really under your mandate to stop this from happening as a national security, a regional security challenge.
You can see that, if you saw the pictures, I am intentional about it. 3 weeks in office as a regional minister, my fight has most of the time been on this issue of Galamsey. While we try to arrest some of them, we've also tried to explain and educate. Things that chasing them out of the bush will not be enough. But let's try to give them education, give them alternative livelihood, which is why many of them are in farming now.
Mr. Penny, we've passed that point, as you know. I mean, this has now become not only an existential threat, it's become mass murder. You just indicated 10 districts and municipalities affected, no water. Should we still be talking about educating them and livelihood? Shouldn't we just simply focus on flushing them out, encouraging the president to impose the state of emergency, empowering you to be very radical in
that will depend on what your definition will be for flushing them up. I want to be very careful, but it's annoying. I mean, so for this particular situation, it is not being done here. We have not gotten trace of anything here around in central region. It comes from eastern region. You understand? And so I do agree with you. I wouldn't want to bring into the public domain the steps being taken concerning this particular matter. But the managing director of Ghana Water Company came earlier before I got there, and we've taken some national security measures to ensure that we flush them up. So we are at it. We are doing something. I want to tell you that the issue of, just like you said, the Galamsey issue and the way it's being done, especially in the water bodies and the reserve forest, is something that we should treat differently. And I agree with you. Any suggestion that will come from you as media people, I think the government is ever ready.
Do you support then imposition of a state of emergency on those water bodies that have been affected?
Exactly, seriously, I do agree. In fact, including going beyond that. You see, I think that we the politicians are complicit. Now, we are unable to arrest sometimes because we don't get information. Before you say Jack, if you were talking to a police officer, you tell him that as a regional security of chairman, we go to have operations this day, and before you get there, people are no more coming there. They might even leave their machines around and leave. And so taking the machines alone has not solved the problem. So I think something radical has to be done. But I believe that His Excellency President Mahama has said that he is going to do everything on board, and we are going to support him to do that.
Okay, thank you very much. And that there is Ekopenyin Ochre, the Central Regional Minister. And tonight we're going to be interacting with the President. I get to ask him a question on this particular matter. What really is stopping him from imposing state of emergency, especially after he lost dear friends, 8 of them, at least 2 of them we know are cabinet ministers. And many said at the time that their memory will win the fight against illegal mining. That hasn't happened just yet. You see a regional minister, he's the chair of the Regional Security Council, appointed by the President himself, saying, Mr. President, impose a state of emergency so I can deal with this matter. How will the President deal with it, and why hasn't he done it yet? We'll put that question to the President later tonight. I want to stay on the subject of the tariffs just a short while longer, because we're hearing from the chairman of the Parliament's Energy Committee and MP for Whole West, Emmanuel Bejra, as it relates to the ECG's demands for a 225% increase in electricity tariffs. Well, he says the committee will not approve any tariff hike for the ECG when PULC finally meets them.
Here as the chairman of the Energy Committee and listening to PULC, ECGA, and all the institutions that are under PULC, I will not approve anything, that ECG will bring to us.
You mean
Why?
You mean zero?
Zero.
Explain.
In fact, I just returned from outside, and on my own page, that is my committee's page, it was bipartisan bashing on ECG. I mean, nobody, they will not come to us with this. In fact, I'm going to call the PRC executive secretary that he shouldn't bring it to us. The last time they increased the 17%, they came. We told them, well, should have consulted us. You didn't consult us. How can you increase ECG tariff to 225%? Evans? Do we have the purchasing power of consumers to pay for it?
Colleagues, Adomako Mensah is the ranking member on that committee, joins us right now. You agree with your chairman that this is a consensus on your platform, that you all have decided you're not going to tolerate any increase for the ECG?
Absolutely. I'm 100% with my chairman. But my designation is a deputy ranking member. I do think, and I did speak to you yesterday, that this is not the time that ECG should be considering an increment in tariffs. And not to talk about 225%. I am 100% with my chairman. It's been a bipartisan discussion on our platforms, and I kept telling people, if government goes ahead to increase electricity by 225% for the first time, we are going to have a very bipartisan demonstration rejecting this particular increment.
Collins, thank you very much. I'm grateful. That there's Collins Adomako Mensah there with his thoughts on where we stand as far as the committee is concerned on the increases demanded, requested, call it what you may, ECG wants it, by the Electricity Company of Ghana. George, we are faced here with the latest from the world of business.
Well, events are coming up. Strong activities in services sector push second quarter growth to 6.3% as a school service describes development as signs of economy recovering, and businesses and services sector drive dollar demand from commercial banks this week as Bank of Ghana continue to be active on the market with supplies. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials and Synthesis tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
Ah, Ma, have you received the delivery?
Sis, yeah, the rider's bay. Send in a momo.
Okay, *176.
Ah, Paco, don't you use a smartphone? Use a momo app, ne?
Huh? App.
Hey, I want to say a millennium, say millennial. Inim. Oh, millennium for ya nyaze. Switch to the app. Oh, you're smart. And oh, you're secure.
Enter a world of possibilities with the Momo app. Pay your favorite merchant, pay utility bills, and borrow from our wide range of lending services. Move to the app side today. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory? Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem. She was saying, use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow. Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. Money we define every day and night. Mama, dada keep on hustling for the family. The luckiest. Last dance, everyone to hash. You can win some cash. You can be the luckiest with 1 CD. Luckiest with 5,000. The luckiest. The teacher got the market woman. You can be the luckiest. Oh, the luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. You can be the luckiest. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Stars everyone to hush. Luck is everywhere. Luck is everywhere. Oh, tell me, are you feeling lucky? Because I'm feeling lucky. Because I'm feeling like the ultimate. That's how we go win. If I win, you win. You could be the luckiest. Saswabo. Sasso, 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 every mosquito study run away. Oh, come on,
sasso, me se come tonton preko. Oh, come tonton preko. Sasso, come tonton preko. Na ni shamne die, demo strongko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, some strong pickup in activities in the services sector helped push second quarter growth to new levels. Data released by the Ghana Statistical Service put the rate at 6.3%. There is more in this report.
Based on the data released by the Ghana Statistical Service, the services sector grew by 9.9%. This is the highest posted by any of the sectors in the economy. The second quarter growth was fueled by some strong performance in some subsectors in the areas of education, information and communication, as well as health and social work. The rest are finance and insurance. The agri sector also grew by 5.2%, while the industry recorded the lowest rate of 2.3%. In monetary terms, value of the economic activities that took place in the second quarter was worth more than 321 billion cedis. In terms of share, the service sector accounted for the largest, commanding 42% of the economy. Industry had 33%, followed by agriculture with 25%. Another interesting development that is worth talking about is the non-oil growth, which grew by 7.8%, showing that Ghana's economy is growing strongly without oil. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the second quarter growth numbers showed economic activities picked up strongly more than the same time last year, a development the services say is a sign of growth and recovery. All the sectors also recorded some strong growth, with exception of industry, which the rate of increase slowed. In terms of recommendation, the Ghana Statistical Services advised government to look at prioritizing infrastructure and energy investment to sustain growth across all sectors, especially industry and services.
And that is a business desk report. Meanwhile, government statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisu has attributing the strong non-oil growth as sign that the economy is now more diversified. He's also been talking about what happened for the oil sector contracting significantly for the second quarter of this year.
The trend we are seeing is not an unusual trend. Unless you have more oil discoveries, that would enable you to add on to, the production. Or if you want the value addition, you would see the trends that you are seeing. That's why it's always advisable to diversify your economy when you find a depletable natural resource. Because once it's depletable, it means that after some time, you will not get the same volumes as you are getting. And so when you get the resources, there's a need for you to ensure that you are using the resources to diversify the economy. You move away from oil, and then you go into more sustaining activities and programs. So the trends we are seeing is not unusual at all.
And that is government statistician Dr. Hassan Idris. Let's still stay on this because economist Dr. Patrick Usmi has described the growth numbers as interesting and it could signal some positive outlook in the coming months.
When you begin to see strong growth, quarter on quarter like this, then you begin to see that perhaps, a real recovery is taking shape. And especially when it's so broad-based, and you also look at where the growth is coming from. Last year, even though the growth was strong, you saw that mining and quarrying, which usually is based on pre-planned and pre-programmed activity, because oil production, for instance, when they are scheduled to come on, they will come on stream, or even some of the major mines that were open. But this time, what we are seeing is that we're seeing a much more diverse growth from more sources. So I think it's beginning to tell you that we are moving beyond just positive feeling from the economy.
And that is economist Professor Patrick Esumi. Now, businesses from the services sector are now driving dollar demand surge for this week. Now, this is based on fresh data picked up from the commercial banks. The development is a sharp departure from the previous week where firms in trade and commerce were behind the surge in dollar demand to cover imports for the Christmas season. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana actually has been maintained that they are committed to ensuring that they actually sustain the support. Now, for the first time this week, we've seen that market intervention has been sustained. On Tuesday, it sold some $173 million to the bank that participated in the auction. However, some commercial banks say it is still not enough. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has revealed that it will soon roll out technology that would help track all transactions online for tax purposes. Now, all these developments are part of measures to help improve collections for the state. Anthony Sapon is the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority.
But before the end of the year, we are introducing a digital technology such that transactions that are taking place online, we have visibility of it. We are able to see the amount of value of transaction taking place, and also importantly, deduct the tax component at the point of payment. This is going to be a game changer for both institutions that are outside Ghana but trading in Ghana, and for institutions that are trading. Yes. So, the policy of His Excellency the President and the Minister is that we are not introducing so many new taxes. So today, online business tax rules already exist. So the VAT, if you are buying as you walk into a physical shop, you pay VAT. The same way when you are buying online, you pay VAT. Okay. So what we are doing is to use the technology so that when people buy online, we are able to assess the VAT and deduct at the point of payment.
Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon. Now, if you are holding shares of GCB, well, at the 5 p.m. today, the price of each share had gone up by 1 Ghana cedi, 10 pesos, to close at 12 Ghana cedis, 12 pesos. Gold was also up by 2 pesos and is now worth 2 Ghana cedis, 33 pesos. If you had invested on the market since January this year, you have made a return of almost 50%. And that's all for business on Newsnight and Achways, for sports.
Yeah, man. What do you have in the headlines?
Well, Sports Minister Kofi Adams says he is unimpressed by the work Black Stars coach Otuado has done. Otuado has superintended and led the Black Stars to first place in the group with 2 games to spare. But Kofi Adams says he has not been good enough.
Very soon, AFCON will start in Morocco. Is Ghana going to be there? No. We have not qualified for the World Cup yet. We still need a win and a minimum draw to comfortably say that as far as our group is concerned, nobody can upstage or overtake us. So if I tell you that I am impressed, then it means that I don't know my job. I am not. There's a lot of room for improvement. When you meet the coach himself, he tells you that he feels he got this one, not his. He takes blame for this. He takes blame for that. He's identified this. But, well, people may ask, for how long will you continue?
Our Sports Minister Kofi Adams speaking on CTFM today.
Thank you very much. So live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. I will be sharing your thoughts with the rest of the world pretty shortly. 055-111-1997 is the WhatsApp line. Now, 2 firefighters and a pregnant woman have been injured as the Ghana National Fire Service battled for nearly 24 hours to douse a fire that gutted a warehouse owned by some Chinese nationals at Latabiokoshi here in Accra. The blaze, which started late Tuesday afternoon, destroyed almost everything stored in the facility. My colleague Adobe Asari was on the ground and filed this report.
The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has confirmed 2 firefighters and a pregnant woman injured as the Ghana National Fire Service strived to quench a destructive fire that gutted a warehouse owned by some Chinese individuals at Latabiokoshi here in Accra on Tuesday, September 9 around 4 p.m. Mohamed Bada is the Ablekuma Central Municipal Deputy Director in charge of administration and operations for NADMO.
Yeah, it was they fainted. So they are the fire service officers. They, because of the smoke, and then they tried to go inside actually, and then one person fell from the top, but he has been admitted. He's currently at the hospital, and then 2 of our municipal guards too had casualties. One pregnant woman, because of the flames that entered her, she has also been admitted at the hospital.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu, who later arrived at the scene, says the nation will bear no cost since the fire was caused by the owners of the warehouse.
The fire is here to give us the cause of the fire, which we already know that they say is the fault of the Chinese. Are you getting me? So my point is that if it's the cost, this shouldn't be a burden to the government. And so those affected areas, we are going to tax them to be responsible so that they will take care of the affected houses. And so that is what we are going to do. Are you getting me? We already know, I mean, when we got the news, the fires were here, and per their report too, like I said, it's the same thing. And so they caused it, so they have to bear the consequences.
I want to bring in Rashid Nisao. He's Assistant Chief Fire Officer with the Ghana National Fire Service. He joins us on the line right now. Rashid, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. What's the status of the fire?
Good evening. Good evening to your cherished listeners. The state of affairs as we speak, we've been able to do about 80% of the job. We left about 20%. With the help of the excavator, we are able to cut away the debris. And as I speak to you, in the next hour or two, we'll knock off and make up.
Do you have any idea what started this?
Do I have an idea?
What started this fire?
The cause of the fire?
Yes. Any idea yet? Any?
We have our preliminary investigations, and we have in our mind, we are clear in our mind the cause of fire in the interim, even though we are open for further investigations and discussions, but I don't think it's prudent enough for now to put it on air.
It's not arson, is it?
How?
Hello, Rashid. It is not arson, is it?
Your line is not so clear.
Can you hear me, Rashid?
Yeah, I'm better. It's better now.
I'm wondering, it isn't arson, is it?
No, the fire, we've been able to extinguish the fire. It's just left with the pockets of fire that we need to cool. If we don't cool it excessively and we leave here, there will be something we call reignition. And this reignition will ask residents will make us to come back to do the job. So we don't want to come back here for reignition, and that is explaining why we are delaying to ensure that totally we extinguish the fire before we leave here.
Okay, I was actually talking about your preliminary assessment. I'm wondering, it isn't arson, is it?
Oh, I just like I said, I wouldn't like to come out in the interim. Let's give ourselves some time and do further investigations, and we'll come out to give you what we think the cause of fire is.
I mean, it's been 24 hours plus since the fire started. It's been a tough one for you to douse it. Why? Why has it been so difficult?
Firefighting generally all over the world is not an easy task.
Yeah, but in this particular case, is there something peculiar about the warehouse that may be posing a challenge?
Yeah, what is making things complex is the fire load. The fire load is such that they have heaped the whole place to the roof. So what it means is that you need to scatter the whole place and ensure that you get to the seat of the fire before you can put out the fire. And so that was one particular challenge that we were facing. And the other challenge was also about inadequate hydrants in the area, and the one or two that are around are not functioning. So we have to rely on private tankers to augment water supply for firefighting purpose.
Thank you very much. Rashid Nisao is the Assistant Chief Fire Officer with the Ghana National Fire Service. Well, yesterday's strikes by Israel on Qatar sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving destruction, casualties, and heightening fears of regional instability. Ghana has broken its customary silence on international conflicts, voicing grave concern over what it called an unprovoked attack, and condemning it as a clear breach of international law and an affront to Qatar's sovereignty. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs warned that such aggressive action jeopardizes fragile peace efforts being undertaken between Israel and Palestine. Now, President John Dramani Mahama also extended solidarity to Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and the Qatari people, acknowledging Qatar's tireless commitment to mediating the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, reacting to this, former Director of Academic Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces Staff College, Dr. Vladimir Nchudanso, commended the government for taking a stance on such international issues. He says although Ghana is non-aligned, the country must be forthright.
Since the Gaza war started, I have not been very happy about the way Ghana has been quiet without making any statement, and we are even guarding Israeli interest in Ghana. It's unfortunate. We need to be forthright in our foreign policy. If we say we are not aligned, it doesn't mean there's no way we can be positive in international relations. Israeli defiance on international law is debilitating. It's very annoying, and we have waited. This attack is way beyond any imagination. So I'm very happy that finally we have been able to, one way or the other, show our anger. In the 70s, there were similar situations when the occupation of the Arab lands created a condition where Africa could not take it any longer. Africa severed relationship with Israel, and I think Ghana was at the forefront. We asked the Israeli ambassador to leave Ghana because we could not just look on when people were just being massacred, and there was kind of colonialism, a kind of imperialism in the 21st century. So we did that, and I was wondering why Ghana would not take the forefront in asking the whole world to condemn Israel and even take positive action to ensure that the war ended. So this coming at this time is very, very important.
And that is Professor Vladimir Nchudanso. So just before we go, a few of your messages on our WhatsApp console. Sam Bannerman in the US says, what's happening to our water bodies is simply down to our politicians. They promised illegal miners they will mine when they come to power. None of our policy makers get the willpower or have the willpower to stop illegal mining. Musa in Asawasi says the issue of Galamsey is something we cannot and must not countenance as it poses an existential threat to our very survival as a country. And Ekwama says the way this government is very reluctant to fight Galamsey is very worrying. Our forest reserves are heavily destroyed. Our water bodies and Ghana water companies also spending so much to treat the water. Jago says Abronia will be Yoko boss in 2029. Guta is very wrong in their actions against the Nigerians. It's one that was shared with us by a trader who obviously says the way to go is for dialogue to prevail. Guess who's joining me for dinner? Yes.
Dinner with no food because I don't see any food.
With a lot of strong and sassiness.
Hi, Evans. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm very, very well.
You look strong and sassy.
Thank you. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So what are we talking about tonight?
Tell me.
So September is Leukemia Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. It's also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we usually do My Story where we tell stories of survivors and that kind of thing. So tonight that's what we're doing. We're talking about leukemia. We're talking about survival. We're talking about the government's infrastructure that is available to support families that are going through these kind of things, cancer and just being in the hospital all the time. And we'll also be speaking with the Leukemia Foundation. They're trying to help. So help with infrastructure, help with support, help with, children and adults who are going through cancer and leukemia. And we're hoping to make a difference tonight. Bring some awareness, maybe raise some money. Just make a difference,
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. It sounds one for the good causes.
Yes, indeed it is. That's tonight on Strong and Sassy.